Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something really special, a super short but incredibly powerful Buddhist text called the Sutra on the Mind. What's amazing is, in just a few lines, it claims to get right to the heart of some of life's biggest questions. So, let's see what it's all about.
So the way this ancient text is set up is actually as a conversation, a really powerful dialogue. You've got a monk on one side who's just wrestling with these huge fundamental doubts, and on the other side, the Buddha, ready with some incredibly direct and, well, life-changing answers.
So, where do we start? Well, what's cool is that our journey into this text doesn't begin with some dry, formal lecture. No, it starts with a person, just a monk meditating by himself who suddenly finds himself face to face with these really urgent, universal questions about what it all means.
Picture this. He's alone in his room, just thinking. Why is the world so confusing? Why do we get led astray all the time? Why do we suffer? Why do we get so tangled up in things? And, these aren't just some abstract, ancient questions. These are the kind of things that can pop into any of our heads when we finally get a quiet moment, right?
Okay, so needing some real answers, the monk gets up, leaves his room, and goes straight to the Buddha. He just lays his questions right out there, and the answer he gets back, well, it's pretty shocking in how simple and direct it is.
And there it is. The Buddha says the world is led astray by the mind. It suffers because of the mind. It gets tangled up because of the mind. He doesn't blame anything outside of us, not other people, not our circumstances, nothing. He points right back at us. The key takeaway here is huge. The very tool we think we're using to figure everything out, our own mind, is actually the source of the problem.
So what the Buddha's really doing here is laying out a fundamental choice for us. On one hand, you can be led by your mind, just following every random thought and impulse into entanglement and suffering. Or you can learn to guide it, to become the master of your own mind and actually move towards liberation and clarity. It's a pretty stark contrast, isn't it?
Okay, so now that the mind has been pinpointed as both the problem and the solution, the monk asks the next logical question. It's basically, okay, I get it, but how? What does it really mean to be well-learned on this path? How do you actually do this mind mastery thing?
So the Buddha's answer starts off by mentioning the 12 divisions of Scripture. Now that number 12 basically just means all of his teachings, the whole shebang. It's this huge body of knowledge. But then he makes a really important distinction.
And this is where things get interesting. The Buddha makes it super clear that being well-learned has nothing to do with memorizing tons of books. No, true learning is about getting the meaning, the real essence, and this is the key part, actually putting it into practice. He says that deeply understanding and living by just one single verse is worth more than being able to recite thousands you don't really get.
All right, so this whole idea of applied knowledge, not just book smarts, naturally leads the conversation to the next level. It's not just about learning anymore. Now they start talking about the different kinds of wisdom that can grow out of that learning.
And the Buddha lays out a pretty clear two-step process. First, there's this initial personal aha moment. And from there, it grows into something bigger, a higher, more active kind of wisdom that actually deals with the world around you.
So step one is what the text calls swift wisdom. Think of this as that lightning bolt of insight, that powerful aha moment. It's when you can suddenly look at your own suffering, see exactly where it's coming from, and realize, with total clarity, that there's actually a way out.
But here's the thing. That personal insight, that's not the end of the road. It's meant to blossom into what's called intelligent wisdom. And this is a huge shift. You go from focusing inward on yourself to focusing outward. It's wisdom that you don't just keep for yourself. It's something you express through compassionate action for the benefit of everyone.
You could almost see the circle of care just expanding, can't you? It starts with your own benefit, then the benefit of others, then many people, and eventually it's for the benefit of all beings, even gods and humans. The end game here is action that's fueled by this massive, universal compassion.
So, okay, this all sounds pretty good in theory, right? But what actually happens when someone takes all this to heart and really, truly puts it into practice? Where does this path actually lead?
Well, to answer that, the story brings us right back to our monk, right back to where we started. But he's a different person now. The confusion is gone. Now he gets it. He has a clear path forward. So he goes back to his quiet place. But this time, he's not there to ask questions. He's there to practice. And the result? It's huge. Through his practice, the monk becomes what's known as an arhat, a totally liberated being.
The text just puts it so simply. His life of suffering is ended. The holy practice is established. What had to be done is done. It's just this incredible testament to the power of the mind, how it can go from being the source of all our problems to the very thing that sets us free.
And so, the sutra leaves us with a really personal challenge. It takes this profound, ancient dialogue and flips it into a question for every single one of us, right here, right now. If the mind holds the key to both our suffering and our liberation, how can you become its master?